Alright, welcome back to Tomboy Official. We're on day 10. I haven't even read this yet. But basically it says what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. That's a quote by Buddha. And it says, repeat after me, in quotes. Starting now, I will live a more intentional life. So, let's see if I have anything to say about these when we circle back, but I might not. It's pretty late. It's almost midnight. But welcome to day 10. We made it this far. The last weekend when I was recording, it was raining, and so we're out of that. So I didn't record in the morning about this. I'm gonna do the whole day right now. My intention for the day really, I kind of just had a couple things. I needed to figure something out this morning with the website, and then just needed to get to San Diego. And those were basically the intentions, and otherwise just to rest and not do any busy work. Today, tomorrow, probably not till Sunday night. Like, I might check on some things, but I won't really do anything. I might do some podcasting, we'll see. And so today I'm grateful for just being able to smoothly pay for trips to go do what I want. I mean, it's not like a massive thing, but it's fun to be able to get out of town for a weekend, and it's not work related this time. It's purely for fun. I'm not needing to like pick up anything at the office on Monday, or drop by the office, or do anything at a work meeting. I'm literally just here for hanging out with friends. So that's cool. And so I'm grateful for that. And the things I wanted to do today basically was the thing with the website, get to San Diego. I had some ideas, but I didn't really follow through with most of them. But yeah, I had to get the rental car. I had to see if there were any things I needed to learn about it. Just simple stuff like how to refill the gas. Like sometimes it's tricky to open gas tanks of different cars. Even stuff as simple as that. Like where's the wipers? Where's the, the lights? How do you connect the phone to the Bluetooth? Like that is something I didn't figure out. Like I know where it is, but it's just not pairing, so I just left it alone. And I would say I'm having more of an evening and nighttime brain dump than a morning one. Like, I don't know, I've been thinking about something, and I'm thinking that possibly my parents are worried about me. That's a possible thought that crossed my mind. I don't think they really kind of understand my life too much. Like, I do a lot of things that they don't really understand. I think all of their children do, but there's just a lot that I think they just don't get, and I think they're actually worried. I'm not worried. I've been getting annoyed, and I think they're being annoying because they're worried. And so I'm kind of like, it just kind of hit me today. I'm like, what is up with them? But yeah, I think I kind of caught on. But I don't know. I don't want them to worry. I'm not like doing anything crazy, but I guess they think I am. So I guess how am I feeling? Today I was a little tired. Not really tired. I was more like dreading the drive, but I had a good drive. It was actually very nice driving a car that wasn't like half falling apart. That's a new thing in life. It's not mine. It's a rental, as I said, but it was definitely an interesting experience. It was smooth. I was recording something that I'm probably not gonna post. I wouldn't post it on here anyways, but I probably wouldn't post it because what I was recording, I think I thought it through more because I was kind of recording on the fly. I got some topics from people and just started recording, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, I think I took a pretty one-sided approach, and so I want to give myself a do-over. I'll call that a brainstorm. But I recorded an episode that was nearly 90 minutes, another one that was probably 45. That's how long it takes me to drive all the way to San Diego. It was literally, I was driving the whole time recording those two pieces. And then, I started thinking it through because I had a quiet evening and I was like, I don't know about what I just recorded. Like when I started thinking about it, I was like, something just doesn't feel like that's accurate. I was more like venting my frustrations rather than like talking about the actual issue. So I guess now that I got that out of my system, sometimes it takes a second try or even more. I just got to get some things out of my system first. And then I'm like, oh, that's not really how I think about this whole topic. That's just what's going on right now. So, yeah. But I haven't really actively thought about too much stuff other than the stuff I just mentioned. Trying to unwind. Been trying to unwind all day. And I did have this like headache, some soreness. It went away around 8 because I started having like cannabis products, and so that kind of took care of most of that. But definitely been kind of sore. Had this headache developing. I didn't even have that much coffee, but I think I was feeling almost like nauseous when I was going to eat lunch, and then I kind of ate on the drive, and then I felt a little better, but I thought I was going to get car sick because it's not my car. And I was kind of like, oh no, am I going to get like car sick? Like, I don't really get car sick that much unless I'm like reading my phone or trying to play a game while someone else is driving. I noticed that kind of gives me motion sickness a little bit, but I've never like vomited, I don't think. I've definitely felt like really a weird like equilibrium type of experience almost. That's what it feels like. I don't know what it is. If that is it related to equilibrium? Like I gotta look that up. But yeah. How I was feeling was mostly like a little on the tired side because I purposely went to sleep late last night and then was gonna sleep in this morning. It was like a little too maybe had too much anticipation about things, so I just wasn't able to go back to sleep. Like all the whole thing of like, oh, they're gonna bring the car to you, and then I was like getting these texts from them, like they weren't supposed to bring the car till like 10 o'clock, and I got a text at like, I don't know, almost 8 o'clock, and then another text at like 9 something, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, and so I didn't wait that long. Um, then just ended up just getting up anyways. Um, I think I didn't maybe sleep too good last night, but I don't know. I did take like a lengthy nap in the middle of the day yesterday. I don't know if it was lengthy, but it was a pretty deep nap. Like I was out. Um, and yeah, I can tell my body's in like this weird recovery mode right now because it's just like all of a sudden I'm just like sleeping all the time. Like, and people who know me, you know, I don't take naps. That's not like something I normally do. Um, but I've been taking naps, and it's like I'll just be getting drowsy, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, whoa. I just like fall asleep. I don't really fall asleep easily at all, except for I guess lately, like in the middle of the day now. I guess if that's a thing, that's gonna start happening. I don't know. But I'll just write it out. There's no. It's not gonna interfere with anything. Um, and how can I continue this feeling or shift it? I mean, I think I just gotta write it out. Like, I'm trying to cover the basics at least. Like, I'm not like eating like wild stuff, and I'm not, um, not taking care of my health. And even when I've gone out, like, and even when I'm going out this weekend, I don't really plan to be drinking, at least not alcohol. I'll stick to the cannabis. Um, and for the evening reflection, my favorite part of the day was mostly I would say the time when my energy was the best was probably when I checked in San Diego. I was like ready to unwind. I didn't really have any solid plans tonight either, so that actually helped. I'm actually glad that I didn't have to see anybody. 5 things I accomplished today. I mean, I got here, woke up early, did some laundry. That was last night. I don't know. Did some stuff on the website. Did a little bit of brainstorming for recordings, I guess I would say. What I'm doing tomorrow, more resting. I'll get some exercise. I don't know if I'll either do some rollerblading or hiking. It's gonna be one or the other. I don't really know yet though. Probably rollerblading. I might hike on Sunday. I might do some rollerblading tomorrow. And tonight's late. I did some bits of yoga. I didn't really do a whole lot, but I just needed to get a little loosened up a little bit more. I'll see. I might finish doing yoga before I go to sleep. And tonight I'm sending love to my friend out there who's looking for an apartment, and end of day thoughts. I'm very tired. I'm very stoned. But that's fine. It's kind of like more like wearing off. But that's how I spent my evening mostly, and I feel like it got me somewhere. So I had some epiphanies. So yeah, so I do like this quote. This what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. I've definitely experienced this. I mean, that's how I got through, you know, so much different types of work and school things that were so difficult. I noticed that, definitely in my 20s, I was able to, just never really talk negative about something. Never really, not that I was like completely acting oblivious or whatever, but like just always trying to look at like the positive side of things, um, instead of looking at the negative. Um, so what I kind of noticed is when things kind of started switching and I started looking more at the negative aspect of things, um, what it did was it made me kind of fatigued like all the time. Like it was hard to get energy. Caffeine doesn't really help with that. And if it does, it's not like a focused, productive energy more necessarily. It was just like, okay, well, I'm up, I'm awake, I'm alert. So with the question, or it's not really a question, but the next part of the quote, what you feel, you attract. Um, that's true too. I mean, it's as simple as even like with working out. It's um, like I think I've mentioned it before. Like something that kind of I have things that kind of like motivate me, um, to want to do things better or to stay on track with things, and it kind of helps me. But I can, if I ignore those things and don't really focus on them motivating me, then I just basically stay just kind of like in whatever the heck it is that's going on. And sometimes really it's not like anything's going on. Like there's really nothing happening. You know what I mean? Like there's some stuff that's always going to be there in the background, but it's like it's not really actively changing or happening to me. So it's kind of like if it's just there, I need to just leave it. you know, um, what you imagine, you create. I mean, I believe that. I mean, you know, um, like I definitely love creativity of any kind, even when I do have to make it like something as easy as possible just so I can get it done. Um, I'd rather be creating things, making things. Um, that's what I love to do, and that's one reason why I really like brainstorming and just kind of daydreaming. Like I know people think it's weird, but I like it. I enjoy just going to the beach, just like sitting there and just thinking about like whatever the heck. Like it doesn't even have to be realistic. Like just like letting my mind just do whatever the heck it wants to do for a while, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. But it's kind of a hobby and it's kind of weird, but it's kind of nice, because for some reason, even if I do have like a negative outlook on things, like for a period of time, I notice when I do that, I can force it to be like some positive, like thing. Like, it's literally like if you were making up, like, as if you've ever made up like fairy tales for like kids, like if you ever had kids in your life where they're just like, tell me a story, and then eventually you kind of run out of stories, so you just start like making stuff up, and they know you're making it up, and so you're just like, yeah, there was like this dinosaur and like all this kind of nonsense. Like it doesn't have to be like super childish, but I mean like you can literally just think about whatever the heck, make up your own stories in your mind, and sometimes it's just fun. It's like it's free, it doesn't cost me anything, you know? And it's not like I'm doing it all day. Like I have to like force myself to do it, but I mean, it's kind of interesting that it does in a way help my focus too. Um there's a lot of things that help my focus. That's one of them. And another thing is just like writing. Like sometimes it's like I can just like open up like a notebook or like just even if I'm typing and just write down a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going nowhere with this, I'm just writing down like whatever. And then eventually like maybe categories start coming up and then I start categorizing like different thought processes and things that are on my mind that I didn't even know I was thinking about. And it's like, oh, like I feel like my mind just took a dump. Like it's just like, okay, and I think that needs to happen on a pretty regular basis. But writing helps, brainstorming helps, daydreaming helps. Um, like whenever I have like brain fog, I've noticed that kind of helps. Those things kind of help a lot. And it's weird because, you know, when a person has brain fog, it doesn't feel like there's anything that would really help. That's that simple. Like usually it's like, oh, pump myself full of caffeine or like something like that. But I've noticed that creative things can help more than the caffeine, in all honesty. Um, and it doesn't have to be like a masterpiece, you know. It's almost like equivalent to like scribbling on a piece of paper with just like doodles. It's like, yeah, it doesn't have to be organized or anything. You're not sharing it, you're not posting it anywhere, but it helps. I mean, like, it's pretty shocking how much stuff, comes up in my mind, but I have a pretty active mind, and that's even like on minimal caffeine. Um, so it keeps life interesting, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, and then with that other quote that said, "Starting now, I will live a more intentional life." I mean, I think that's a pretty powerful statement. That's a pretty powerful, like, changing statement. Like, um, living with a more intentional life. Um, I mean, that seems like it means like behaviors that are changed intentionally to reach like certain kinds of goals. But to start doing it just like all of a sudden, um, it's possible to do that. It, but there might be a lot of resistance too. Um, like right away, it's easy to start making excuses like, oh, like why would I start now? Like why can't I just wait till tomorrow? Why can't I wait till after the weekend? It's too late. It's too early. I'm busy. Um, even if you're like literally starting work or something, you can just try to do better at work. It's like you don't have to wait. Um, and there's an attitude that comes along with a lot of intentionality. Um, I think sometimes, it helps to just kind of bulldoze over just like the sucky stuff. Like, if it can just be left alone, sometimes it seems like it's better just to leave it. I know it's not necessarily ideal to just like ignore everything, but if a person focuses on everything, they're never gonna get anything done. Like, and especially when it's negative, every negative thing, it's like it's never gonna change for the better. Like it has to be at least a little bit like looked at from different perspectives, from different angles. But it kind of sucks too that life keeps us so busy. Like if you're not working or studying or both, um, I mean, you eventually have to get back to it, right? It's like, but yeah, like when you're working and studying, I think there is like uh, an optimal point that you reach where you can still do other stuff. Like it keeps you in a good routine so that you have, your mind working all the time too, and you're kind of more structured with things, hopefully, and then you're able to kind of do more. But then if your job is like too hard or too stressful, then it kind of screws up your sleep and screws up a bunch of other stuff, your stress levels and everything. And I noticed too, once stress levels start getting attacked, it's like that's when everything else just kind of crumbles. Like if like good stress management is always a good thing to have. Um, and even forcing, I think this is going to sound stupid probably, but if someone forces themselves to do something that they don't want to do, I think it just makes them that much more motivated in their actions for that day. Um, I mean, it can be easily forgotten, but it can be something simple, right? Where it's like, I'm making breakfast and I'm like, oh, like, I'm not gonna make this unhealthy choice instead of eating the donuts that are so delicious sitting right here in front of my face from Krispy Kreme. Like, not really, but like, instead of doing that, I'm gonna cook myself like a healthy vegetable egg white omelet or something. Like, and it's like, yeah, it's one choice. Like, what's one donut gonna kill you? But if it's like every morning, what's one donut gonna kill you? And you can still make like a delicious meal that's healthy, but it's just kind of like little decisions like that seem like they're little, but then they add up. The more a person does them, they're gonna add up. And so just trying to think of it that way, where it's like, even with work or school, like you don't go to a class like one day a week or one day a year. Like you go to the class once and then you just graduate, or you go to work like once ever and then you just like are done. It's like, no, you kind of have to go all the time so you can build up the money to get the paycheck. You have to earn the money. With school you have to keep going so that you earn the grade, or at least the attendance points. You can't have like zero attendance and pass a class. Like usually that's not going to fly unless it's remote, but you usually can't just like avoid everything and then just show up. Even if you do ace all the final stuff, if you were never there, it's going to be very rare that you'll get like the top grade. Um, but yeah, with some things I notice, it's like for some people, different things are easier than others. Like there's stuff that I can do that for a lot of people is just boring. Like they would never want to do that ever. And I love it. I enjoy it. I'll do it. There's not really anything that I do every single day that I can think of. I mean, more than anything, I'd say I sleep and eat pretty much every day. Like, I probably don't miss a day of eating. I don't think I've missed, unless I count when I got the Rona, and I think I still ate, even though it really wasn't like big meals or anything. But yeah, I really do think, those are the best tips for kind of like keeping things intentional, is really just like keeping track of stress levels and managing them, and um, remembering all the little things that add up, the little choices that add up. It's like it's easy to want something, but to take all those steps just to get there, like usually it's not like an overnight thing for anything. Like if you want a degree, if you want a certain, pay rate, if you want a certain skill or certification, or even if you want to learn to do some kind of sport activity or something, um, it's gonna usually take a while to be able to get good at something. And that's fine. It's just I think the hard part really is um, the trying to like like kind of how I said earlier that there's always going to be like a form of maybe like, okay, it says do this now, and then it's like, but why now? Like, can't we wait? Like anything that's kind of like that, that always makes it harder because technically almost anything can be done. Like, even if it's like, I mean, this is gonna sound weird to say, but even if it's half-assed, like, you know, like maybe there are days when I don't want to eat healthy, but it's like, you'll make a weird decision that's like, okay, at least I'm doing this healthier, or like maybe I'm not getting the full, workout in, but I'm getting some of it, like, that keeps the momentum up. Um, I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing that on a very regular basis because then it's not going to really help with the goals. Like, some things really do have to be very consistent, and very planned out. But um, I I think that's probably all I'm gonna say for that topic, because I don't want this to be way too long. The other ones were kind of long, and I was already recording for a really long time today. And even if I'm not gonna post it, I'm gonna just call it for tonight and get on with things. And with that, thanks for listening.